At the height of his fame, Max Baer Jr. maintained secrets even though he was famous for playing Jethro Bodine on the Beverly Hillbillies. The timeless tale of a Beverly Hills family who hit oil and adjusted to life there continues to captivate audiences today. Baer had a dark secret while recording the performance, but it provided joy and warmth to the audience. I don't understand. We will delve into his story, so stay tuned. Turned him into a fan favorite. He brought Jethro to life and became a beloved TV character because to his superb timing and physical comedy. The funny thing was that he wanted to be a brain surgeon and a double-knot spy. According to the character, Baer did an excellent job playing Jethro. The purpose of the comedic asides and the implausible assumptions was to amuse the audience. Despite his struggles, Baer eventually became a producer-director despite being typecast following the Beverly Hillbillies. Making jokes when not on camera. His acting chops when not delivering comedic roles were on display in films like Ode to Billy Joe and Macon County Line. Did you realize, though, that Baer kept secrets from his travels, both professional and personal? We have to go back to the beginning if we want to find them. The month of December 1937 saw the birth of Max Baer Jr. in Oakland, California. Mary Ellen Sullivan was a brilliant actress, and Max Baer, Sr., was a world-renowned boxer. The combination of spending time at home with them and his early exposure to sports propelled Max to stardom. Max saw the significance of media at a young age as the son of Joseph, who was the world heavyweight champion from 1934 to 1935. Thus, the early taste of fame and success was important to shaping the man who would subsequently become familiar to viewers of television shows nationwide. The fact that he lived a life of popularity is one of his secrets. As he pondered on his youth, Max gave an interview in 1991. It was wonderful and difficult to grow up with a dad who was so big. My expectations were raised as a result. Another actor and boxer in his family was Buddy Baer. Max had a difficult childhood despite all the glamour. Max learned early on about the highs and lows of fame from watching his father endure emotional and financial hardships. When they see a hero, how can a young youngster understand that people are weak and fallible? This dualism had a significant impact on Max's perspective on life and achievement. Both intellectually and athletically, Max thrived at Sacramento's Christian Brothers High School. In junior high, he won 4 different sports titles and a golf competition at the Sacramento Open, following in his father's footsteps as a talented golfer. As a teen athlete, he was also victorious at the San Diego Open. Beyond athletics, though, Max found his calling in school plays, where he honed his acting chops. Max continued his study at Santa Clara University after finishing high school, where he majored in business administration and minored in philosophy. Likely influenced by his father's erratic career, this pragmatic choice demonstrated his awareness of the importance of a strong base. Education was my safety net, Max told the Sacramento Bee in an interview from 2015. In case my acting career took a nosedive, I wanted a backup plan. In his early 20s, Max, who had a degree in business, was introduced to the performing world and lived in Hollywood. How did he transform himself from a student of business into a potential actor? Even though Max had a dazzling and troubled childhood, it was these experiences that set him up for a life in show business and gave him the grit to succeed. He experienced affluence and poverty simultaneously during his formative years, where his father's achievements and setbacks provided the groundwork for his own success. The pain of obscurity washed over him. He approached his work with a mindset that combined power and imagination, shaped by this insight. It seems like Max gets along well with his parents, and in interviews he often talks about how his dad helped him become a strong man, and how his mom always encouraged him to pursue his art. These qualities defined Max Baer Jr.'s career, and they served to inspire him to continue his parents' entertainment tradition while forging his own path. The formative years of his life served as a foundation for and training ground for his later career endeavors. Max still had a long road ahead of him, paved with the teachings and experiences of boyhood from the fighter's ring, with all those hopes and memories, to the glamorous world of Hollywood cinema. In your opinion, did these formative events impact his subsequent success in show business? Max Baer Jr.'s Jethro Bodine in the Beverly Hillbillies was the polar opposite of what he looked like on film, which is unusual because many actors look like their roles. Baer was ambitious, smart, and complicated in contrast to Jethro's innocence and lack of intelligence. In spite of this dissonance, Baer portrayed a naive role with conviction. The show's hillbilly protagonist, Jethro, had a sixth-grade education and struggled with everyday life and its basic necessities. Baer, on the other hand, had a degree in business from Santa Clara University and a minor in philosophy. Baer learned about the complexity of life at a young age thanks to his famous father, a heavyweight boxing champion. In contrast to the clumsy Jethro, the brilliant and charming Baer was a star student. During an interview in 2014, Baer made the observation, "People always expect Jethro, but they get me," instead emphasizing the contrast between the man and the persona. Although many legendary Hollywood actors got their starts in the United States, Baer began his acting career in England, doing bit parts on television and in the theater. His abilities were honed by these formative encounters. But Baer quickly sought out more difficult assignments and relocated to Hollywood. He had a challenging adjustment as he joined a highly competitive market. However, he was successful in the end. Casting directors took notice of him, and in 1960 he made his American television debut on Maverick. His acting career took off after he appeared in the '77 Sunset Strip and Hawaiian Eye, two more television series. Max Baer Jr.'s ideal role came true in 1962's The Beverly Hillbillies, which was his big break into acting. Baer won over millions of fans with his depiction of Jethro as the obnoxious but naive nephew. Many were curious about the show's inspiration and setting, and we'll address those questions and more in this video. There would be limitations, though, if the Beverly Hillbillies were to be successful. Jethro was Baer's typecast role. Macon County Line, a low-budget picture he produced and co-wrote in 1974, surprised audiences and earned nearly $30 million, demonstrating his versatility as an actor and filmmaker. He persisted in this vein until 1976, when he produced the hit film Ode to Billy Joe. The acting possibilities Baer had were few, and he still had a strong connection to the character of Jethro. The interviews revealed that he was still unsure of his career path. The Beverly Hillbillies gave him recognition and many chances, but they also put restrictions on him. Jethro was both a blessing and a curse, Baer reportedly remarked. It did both. It let people in and it kept them out. In creating the Beverly Hillbillies, Paul Henning drew from either his own life or the lives of other families. The concept for the series came to Henning in the early 1960s as he was driving with his mother-in-law across the American South. The rural beauty, Civil War relics, and tales of the South captivated Henning on his expedition. His fascination with the region's pristine history and the comparatively rapid development of the 20th century led him to create the concept of modern-day Southerners. The original plan was for Henning to produce the concert in New York City, with the bustling cityscape serving as a backdrop. Unfortunately, he had to reconsider because of negative cash flows and a lack of capital. In an effort to keep costs down, he moved the setting to Beverly Hills, setting up the paradox of leaving the country for the city. The inclusion of humor, social services, and similar departments became crucial to the program. Therefore, it was a smart move. First broadcast in 1962, the Beverly Hillbillies followed a low-income Southern family as they navigated life in affluent Beverly Hills. At last, the program managed to win over audiences and cement its place in history. As a result of Henning's travels and the required budget, the series was created, which contains humor, culture reflection, and social saturation. John Wayne's cameo in the Beverly Hillbillies was one of many memorable moments. This happened in Season 5's The Indians Are Coming episode. Irene Ryan's granny held Wayne in the highest esteem as a model of American heroism. Concerned about an Indian attack, Granny contacts Wayne through letter. Wayne surprises her at the end by playing himself to comfort her. The episode's ratings went up and viewers were thrilled to witness real-life heroes interacting with their favorite characters thanks to Wayne's cameo, which brought charm and creativity. Additionally, it demonstrated how well-liked the program is and how well it draws in A-list actors and actresses. Blending comedy, star power, and touching moments into unforgettable television, this presentation is still a highlight of the series. The role that brought Max Baer Jr. the greatest fame was that of Jethro Bodine, the beloved but naive nephew of the Beverly Hillbillies. But there's a hidden turn involving Catherine Bodine, who is said to be Jethro's twin. The makers used a double body to let Baer represent both roles instead than casting a different actor. Baer is able to display his humorous talent while still being true to his family name thanks to this imaginative decision. A distinctive voice for Catherine was given by Linda K. Henning, daughter of series creator Paul Henning. With Linda's help, the character felt more real, and she was already famous for her part in Petticoat Junction. This creative method brought depth and humor to the play by allowing Jethro and his twin to interact in a hilarious way. The creative flexibility behind the scenes was on full display as Baer, with Linda's vocal performance, showcased the imaginative and family-oriented ethos of the Beverly Hillbillies in her dual role. The Ballad of Jed Clampett, the show's theme song, was a major factor in the show's iconic status. Flatt and Scruggs, two country and western music legends, performed the title tune that was written by the show's creator, Paul Henning. The theme music was a fantastic fit for the show and carried over into subsequent episodes. The TV show Beverly Hills follows the adventures of low-income mountaineer Jed Clampett as he relocates to the City of Angels after discovering oil. The introduction song captivates the audience and sets the tone for the event with its infectious melody and straightforward lyrics. In addition to the usual showmanship, Flatt's banjo and guitar accompaniments lend the tune the authenticity of a country ballad. The addition of these musicians, along with Henning, gave the show additional character and made it more engaging. In 1962, the series' title song was published as a single and peaked at number 44 on the Billboard country music listing. It became an iconic part of American popular culture and helped boost publicity for the show. Because of the theme tune, the show has endured for a long time and is now considered a classic in television theme music. Buddy Ebsen, Jed Clampett, Nancy Culp, and Miss Jane Hathaway were at odds over political issues, and the emotions were particularly high within the Beverly Hillbillies actors. While running for Pennsylvania's congressional seat in 1984, conservative Ebsen and devoted leftist Culp saw their differences become apparent. Culp, who became famous on television, ran for a congressional seat as a Democrat when she was 62 years old. Although Ebsen loved Culp, he thought she was too liberal, and he actively campaigned against her by sponsoring her Republican opponent, Bud Shuster. This went beyond a basic disagreement with Culp's ideas. This public backlash was devastating to Culp's campaign and put a strain on their personal and professional relationship. It also seemed like a betrayal. Both Culp's relationship with Ebsen and her chances of winning the election were ruined. This political conflict brought to light the cast's long-suppressed differences, which mirrored wider national divisions and demonstrated the far-reaching effects of political views on interpersonal relationships, even in groups that appear to be uniting. In 1971, CBS's head of programming Frederick Silverman chose to cancel the Beverly Hillbillies, despite the fact that few shows had a larger audience. Silverman aimed to modernize CBS's appeal to youthful urban audiences, despite the show's popularity from 1962 until 1971. Classic sitcoms like Petticoat Junction, Green Acres, and the Beverly Hillbillies were, in his mind, being purged from rural television. In order for the network to adapt to the changing television landscape of the early 1970s, Silverman thought it was critical to update its content. Yet, CBS aspired to air shows that were more engaging for families, had a social conscience, and challenged viewers intellectually. The CBS Clampett family came to an end as a result of this, which confused and saddened the viewers, cast, and crew. A sign of CBS's ability to react to viewer requirements was the cancellation of the Beverly Hillbillies, which aroused a lot of criticism. Although the show's yearly run ended in December 1971, Montalbano predicted that its influence on American popular culture and television would endure for a long time. It was hardly long before the Beverly Hillbillies became legendary on television, and it went straight to the top spot in the ratings after only a year, where it stayed for 2 years running. The tales of the Clampett family, who were fleeing the dreary rural life for the glamorous Beverly Hills, were well known across the nation. The Giant Jackrabbit was a particularly noteworthy episode. Premiered on January 8, 1964, drawing 65 million viewers, still one of the biggest numbers ever recorded when it first broadcast. Over the course of its 9 seasons, the show maintained a consistent position in the top 20 most watched programs according to Nielsen. The show was nominated for a Primetime Emmy in the Outstanding Program Achievement in Comedy category, which is a great honor. In the same year, 1963, it received another nomination for Buddy Ebsen's performance as Jed Clampett. Its impact extended beyond the realm of television. In addition to books and comic strips, the exhibition featured items like dolls, games, and comic books. There was a time when Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs' rendition of the Jed Clampett ballad, the theme tune, topped Billboard's country music chart. The Beverly Hillbillies were one of the most beloved, unforgettable shows in television history due to their high ratings, large audience, and cultural importance. The Beverly Hillbillies were a groundbreaking sitcom for what reasons, in your opinion? Last but not least, Penelope Spheeris helmed a 1993 film adaptation of the Beverly Hillbillies for the purpose of passing the series on to the next generation. Diedrich Bader played Jethro Bodine, Erica Eleniak as Ellie Mae Clampett, and Jim Varney was back as Jed Clampett. Unfortunately, the original series flavor could not be replicated, contrary to initial expectations. The movie was criticized for being a parody of another spoof. The picture bombed at the box office because its actors were unable to provide fresh material and instead relied excessively on physical comedy. There was tension between the show's original and new audiences because the adaptation had to change the show's humor and topics to appeal to the viewing habits of the 1990s. By drawing parallels to the original cast, the critics aimed their criticism squarely at the actors' casting decisions. Plus, Jim Varney looked nothing like Buddy Ebsen, even though he played Jed Clampett. The film charted the problem of legendary shows that have been adapted completely failing to translate to other mediums. It became abundantly evident that was also historically significant for 1960 in television. Max Baer Jr. is currently the sole original Beverly Hillbillies cast member still alive. Undoubtedly, Baer's portrayal of the charming yet naive Jethro Bodine on the Beverly Hillbillies catapulted him to international stardom. He became famous and beloved by most people for his portrayal of Jethro. The Return of the Beverly Hillbillies, a 1981 television movie, was Baer's final major role in a Beverly Hillbillies-related television production. He reprises his role as Jethro Bodine in this one-off reunion episode, hence providing an opportunity for the audience to reflect on the Clampett's journey. Although critics were divided on the special, many fans found an emotional connection, and Baer got to reprise his iconic role while reuniting with old co-stars. Following this performance, Baer stopped acting and started focusing on real estate and a Beverly Hillbillies-themed casino hotel, among other business endeavors. Despite his retirement from public view, Baer's impact and show legacy go on. Baer now resides in Nevada and is enjoying his newfound peace and solitude. Fans of the program still adore him even though he doesn't make frequent TV appearances. His portrayal as Jethro Bodine ensures that the Beverly Hillbillies continue to resonate with fans of the original series as well as those who have just discovered it through streaming services or reruns.